I flew home for our 10th anniversary. Found my husband had given another woman my identity. On our 10th wedding anniversary, I flew back from London to surprise my husband Marcus Sterling. When I used my black card at Cartier to pick up the custom jewelry I'd ordered, the sales associate's warm smile instantly turned cold. Is this really your card? I frowned at her sudden attitude change, confused and annoyed. Whether it was my black card or not, what business was it of hers? Sure, Marcus had the primary card, but using the secondary shouldn't warrant this treatment from a sales associate. Of course it's mine. What's there to doubt? I said impatiently. She looked me up and down, then retrieved the jewelry. You're Mr. Sterling's mistress, aren't you? I'm warning you, get lost. Someone like you doesn't deserve to be associated with Marcus Sterling. I haven't even had a chance to get close to him, so what makes you think you can? As she handed it over, she deliberately let go the moment I reached for it, sending the jewelry crashing to the floor. I stood frozen, still processing what happened. But she'd already triggered the store alarm. This woman deliberately destroyed million-dollar jewelry. Security, arrest her. 1. Security perked up immediately at the mention of million-dollar. I stared at the sales associate's baseless accusation, finding it absurd. Destroying jewelry and trying to flee? Arrest her. She sneered at me with arrogant disdain. Faced with these sudden accusations, my mind went blank. I was fleeing? Destroying jewelry? She's the one who dropped it. Who the hell do you think you are? I said coldly, frowning. You dropped it yourself. But security didn't listen to my explanation. At the sales associate's signal, they roughly pinned me to the ground with security poles, my fingers twisting at an unnatural angle as I fell. The searing pain turned my face pale instantly. Let me go. I struggled on the ground. This is false accusation. More and more people gathered to watch. I just wanted this ridiculous disaster to end. Release me now or I'm calling the police. Otherwise, expect a lawsuit. You dare call the police? A lawsuit? The sales associate glared at me mockingly. $1 million theft and you're still so self-righteous. The crowd began whispering. Looking at her clothes, she doesn't seem like someone who'd steal. What do you know? That Chanel jacket she's wearing, there's only one in the world, bought by someone overseas. So, she's wearing a fake? How tacky. Stealing this amount? 10 years in prison. Their mocking stares hit me like poisoned arrows. I didn't break it. Check the security footage. I said coldly, every inch of pain sharpening my anger. Security footage? She laughed coldly. How convenient the cameras broke yesterday. My eyes widened, bloodshot. She continued righteously, I know you sabotaged the cameras, didn't you? Her gaze was venomous. Your goal wasn't to destroy the jewelry, it was to steal. My heart raced. How could this be such a coincidence? My face paled, cold sweat beading on my forehead. I have proof. I suddenly remembered. I'd been recording a video for my friend when I entered. My phone was still recording. Let me go. Who do you think you are? I shot cold, determined looks at the two security guards. They exchanged glances, hesitated, then withdrew the poles. Fighting through the pain in my twisted fingers, I pulled out my phone. Look for yourself. This video proves I didn't break the jewelry. I played the video for everyone. I'll be suing all of you for assault. Everyone crowded forward, their suspicious looks turning to disbelief. The sales associate laughed first. This shaky video proves nothing. You probably filmed this earlier with filters to escape responsibility today. The crowd agreed. Right, only the beginning is clear. The rest shows nothing. Do you think we're idiots? Stop wasting time. Call the police. Seeing security approaching again, I clicked on the video. The video was crystal clear. Why were they pretending not to see? The guards exchanged looks and raised their poles again. Seeing the sharp points coming at me, I turned pale, trembling uncontrollably. Wait. I pulled out my card, just wanting to escape these savages. $1 million meant nothing to me, but being gawked at like a circus animal was unbearable. $1 million. I'll pay. The sales associate's smug expression darkened when she saw my card. She looked me up and down, then leaned close to whisper. You're Mr. Sterling's mistress, aren't you? I'm warning you, get lost. Someone like you doesn't deserve Marcus Sterling. I haven't even had a chance with him, so what makes you special? My heart skipped. A bad feeling washed over me. What did she mean? Mistress? Is this your card? She sneered disdainfully. I showed my impatience, shooting her a cold look. Of course it's mine. She stepped forward and suddenly slapped me hard. Grabbing my hair, disgust in her eyes, she hissed, this is Marcus Sterling's secondary card. Who are you to him? My ears rang, breathing heavy. Marcus Sterling? I stared at her. I'm his wife. Any problem with that? She ignored my cold gaze and laughed. Wife. With utter disdain, she pulled out her phone. She's Marcus's wife. You must be the thief who stole the card. I frowned, instinctively looking at the phone. When I saw the young woman cuddled intimately against Marcus, I stopped breathing, struck by lightning. The woman intimately close to my husband wasn't me. 2. My face turned ashen. I snatched the phone, examining it carefully. Finally confirming that man really was Marcus Sterling. Security saw this and held nothing back. They used the poles to pin me humiliatingly to the ground. I couldn't fight two large men and kept retreating. How dare you lie? You think you can fool me? He kicked my lower back as if venting frustration. The sharp pain left my mind momentarily blank. Fighting through the pain, I shot a blood-red glare at the sales associate. You're dead. I roared hoarsely. Get Marcus Sterling here. Now. She approached, looking down at me before crouching to grab my face roughly, forcing me into the most humiliating position for everyone to see. You delusional mistress, you dare demand to see Marcus? She spat at me. Getting plastic surgery to look like her to seduce him. Shameless. Pretending to be his wife? She smirked, but her eyes held disgust. I haven't even made it with Marcus yet. You're nothing. I stared at her, thoughts crashing like a hammer, leaving me dazed. She meant Marcus had more than one woman? I closed my eyes, suppressing the trembling in my chest. The jewelry was ordered by Marcus Sterling, but the signature is mine. You can check. The sales associate's smile vanished, full of mockery. Still arguing? I say you broke it, so you broke it. What's there to defend? Security lifted me from the ground, pinning my arms behind me. How dare you? I breathed heavily with cold warning. Let's see who dares touch me. I dare. A striking figure emerged from the crowd. My eyes widened, then I was thunderstruck seeing her face. She was the woman with Marcus. More importantly, she looked 70% like me from 10 years ago. No wonder the sales associate accused me of plastic surgery. She approached me coldly, delivering a swift slap. The stinging pain and metallic taste of blood instantly sobered me. Who are you? My throat was dry, barely managing to speak. Who am I? She stood before me arrogantly. You dare ask? Impersonating Mado, you have a death wish? She looked me up and down, then laughed mockingly. Lady, you think getting surgery to look like me will get you Marcus? Pathetic. I held my breath roughly. So you're Marcus Sterling's wife? She nodded confidently. Of course. Who else? You. The sales associate stood aside, jealousy flashing across her face at the woman, but she still approached deferentially. Mrs. Sterling, you're finally here. This woman shamelessly tried to seduce Mr. Sterling. The sales associate's eyes gleamed wickedly. She even has Mr. Sterling's secondary card probably stolen. Standing aside fanning the flames, thinking if I was gone, she'd definitely rise in status. Even if just as a mistress, she'd take it. Thinking of that distinguished man, the sales associate's eyes filled with obsession. Hearing this, Ashley shot me an icy glare. Shameless. Seducing a married man so brazenly? She extended her hand. Give me the card. You shameless thing trying to use my husband's money for jewelry. Disgusting. Everyone watched this drama with relish, adding fuel to the fire. These days mistresses are getting bolder using the husband's card and getting caught by the wife. Mortifying. In the old days, she'd be drowned. Shameless. I turned coldly to these gossipmongers. My icy demeanor and powerful presence instantly silenced them. Ashley, hearing this, stood even more arrogantly. I see you won't give up without seeing proof. She dialed a number. Honey, Ashley's voice turned tearful and weak, I'm at Sterling Plaza. There's a crazy woman causing trouble, claiming to be your wife. Come expose her lies. Help me deal with her. The man on the other end paused, confused. My wife. What does she look like? Ashley didn't catch his meaning, looking me up and down mockingly. Ugly. N. Old woman. Marcus audibly relaxed on the other end. Just then, my phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Darling, where are you? Missing you. A storm of fury swept through my eyes. My fingers gripped the phone so tightly to keep from losing control. Still in London. We'll see you in a week, I deliberately replied. Sure enough, Ashley excitedly hung up. Old woman, I'm telling you, my husband's coming right now. Just wait. 3. Is that so? I looked at her with thick mockery. I wanted to see what Marcus Sterling had been doing behind my back with my family's power all these years. Ashley froze, seeing I wasn't afraid. Then she thought, scared stupid, huh? You should thank me. Otherwise, when would someone like you ever see a man of my husband's caliber? Cold flashed through my eyes. I should thank you indeed for showing me what kind of person he really is. I frowned, truly isolated now. Impersonating Muhat, were you thinking? Ashley touched her porcelain skin mockingly. Look at yourself. So old. Even with surgery to look like me, you're just a poor imitation. My gaze swept over her face with a cold laugh. But my clenched fists trembled imperceptibly. Suddenly, the sales associate beside me exclaimed loudly. The crown jewel collection is missing. Cold sweat poured down her face. The previously bored crowd instantly perked up. Ashley frowned. What crown jewel? The sales associate panicked, nearly crying. It's our centerpiece emerald jewelry worth billions. How could it just disappear? Ashley said dismissively. Just $1 billion. Look how panicked you are. Pathetic. The sales associate's face stiffened, intense jealousy flashing in her eyes. But she took a deep breath, her sharp gaze turning to me. You stole it. She suddenly lunged forward, red-eyed, pinning the crime on me. Please, I'm begging you, give it back. If the crown jewel is lost, we'll all be ruined. Please have mercy. She cried and begged anyone would feel sympathy. I was caught completely off guard by this sudden accusation. What are you talking about? I said hoarsely. Framing me wasn't enough once, you need to do it again? You really are impressively stupid. Ashley mocked from the side. Not just a mistress, but a thief too. The crowd began pointing fingers. My God, first she breaks million-dollar jewelry, now steals billion-dollar pieces. That's life in prison. Call the police. The sales associate's eyes gleamed as she spoke up. Your purse. She lunged for my bag. It must be in your purse. I frowned angrily. Don't you dare. Guilty conscience? The sales associate signaled security to restrain me. Security understood the severity now. This time they gave me no chance to resist, kicking me in the stomach. Then pinning me firmly with the poles. Let me go. I struggled desperately, roaring warnings. The sales associate seized the opportunity, snatching my purse to search. The crown jewel is here. Face flushed with excitement, she pulled out a box. This is what was stolen. My mind went blank with shock. Then I quickly understood. I narrowed my eyes at the sales associate, laughing coldly. You did this. No wonder she'd been standing so close to me. She must have planted the jewelry in my purse. I struggled hard. Let me go. I'll have someone bring money. Security finally released me. The coldness in my eyes deepened as I made a call. 4. Ashley checked her phone nearby. With the bearing of the legitimate wife, she looked down at me arrogantly. My husband's almost here. Good thing this plaza belongs to Sterling Corporation. Wait for my husband to deal with you, you shameless mistress and thief. I frowned in confusion. Sterling Corporation? Ashley laughed, proud and triumphant. What, scared now? Sterling Corporation is the country's largest company. But of course, a nobody like you from the sticks wouldn't know about high society. I laughed at the irony. These two had truly taken over what wasn't theirs. Soon, a large group approached from the distance. The man leading them stood tall and cold, radiating authority. Oh my God, first time seeing Mr. Sterling in person. He's so handsome. Ashley's so lucky rich and handsome husband. The crowd gasped in admiration. Ashley heard this and straightened even more with pride. The sales associate beside her stared with obsession, growing more jealous of Ashley. Honey. Ashley pushed through the crowd, throwing herself into the man's arms with daughterly grievance. You're finally here. That crazy woman not only impersonated me but just stole billion-dollar jewelry. I watched coldly as my husband of 10 years held another woman tenderly, his eyes soft and coaxing. There, sweetheart. I'm here now. Let me see which foolish woman dared cross my baby. He held Ashley close as they walked into the store. Marcus only saw a figure from behind, but something felt familiar. But remembering my text about being in London, he relaxed. Walking closer, Marcus spoke coldly. You the one causing trouble here? My heart sneered as I slowly turned around. Our eyes met, and the air instantly froze. Victoria? Mrs. Hamilton. One voice came from Marcus. The other from the plaza manager. Who was also my assistant Nathan. The surroundings fell into eerie silence. I walked forward coldly, staring at Marcus's stiff, pale face as I gritted out. Marcus Sterling, when did M.Y. Hamilton Corporation become yours? 5. 10 years ago, Marcus Sterling was just a small retailer's son. After marrying me, my father reluctantly let him join Hamilton Corporation. Back then, knowing my status was higher than Marcus's, I gradually withdrew from company management to protect his pride, only reviewing monthly reports through my assistant. 2 years ago, an overseas project crisis required my personal attention. Since then, Marcus and I had been long distance for 2 years. But in my eyes, he'd been the perfect husband, updating me on his schedule daily. I should have known. A cheating dog can't be controlled. I approached, my cold gaze fixed on the panicking man. Slap. The man's handsome face instantly reddened. Are you insane? Ashley exclaimed, pushing me away. How dare you hit my husband? I didn't look at her, just stared steadily at the pale-faced man. Is that so? She's your wife? Ashley grabbed the man's arm urgently, looking at him plaintively. Honey, say something. But Marcus is frozen in place with his mind blank, had no capacity to care about Ashley. The sales associate frowned, clearly sensing something wrong. But considering that possibility, she trembled and could only continue mocking me stubbornly. You think hiring an actor will fool anyone? I turned and slapped her. Looking at this still yapping woman with utter coldness. I could certainly pull out our marriage certificate to prove our relationship, but I wouldn't. Why should I fall into the trap of self-justification? I glanced at Assistant Nathan. He nodded, pulling legal documents from his briefcase for the sales associate and the most vocal troublemakers. Hamilton Corporation will be pressing charges for assault and defamation. Everyone can expect court summons. The crowd was completely stunned. Those who'd wanted to question my identity looked down at the documents. Seeing the bold red Hamilton Corporation legal department, they panicked. Finally believing they'd crossed someone powerful. The sales associate's face went white. Her previous arrogance and aggression vanished instantly. Only panic remained on her pale face. Miss Hamilton, the sales associate fell to her knees, tears streaming. I was wrong. I was blind. I was bewitched. But I was deceived by Ashley, this fraud. All these years she's claimed to be Mrs. Sterling, so I mistook your identity. Marcus's face turned rigid and ugly. He approached me, speaking with difficulty, with imperceptible pleading and trembling. Victoria, let's go home and talk. Don't make this bigger. I laughed coldly. So you do know this is shameful. Ashley, seeing this, burned with rage. She pushed me away forcefully. Who do you think you are? She looked tenderly at the man's swollen cheek. Touch him again and I'll have Marcus's lawyer sue you. Then she turned to the silent man. Marcus, call Lawyer Johnson. Sue this crazy woman. I laughed coldly. Lawyer Johnson? I looked at the rigid man. Go ahead, call Johnson. Get him here. Ashley mocked, so ignorant. Just wait. Whether self-deception or not, Ashley still chose to believe only Marcus at this point. The man's face paled, too hesitant to move. I sneered inwardly. Of course he wouldn't dare, he couldn't command my personal lawyer. Seeing Marcus's continued silence, Ashley turned all her fear into anger at me. You cheap woman. Using these tricks to seduce Marcus. Born without a mother too. My eyes narrowed, turning completely cold. I stepped forward and slapped her, cutting off the raving Ashley. She instantly went silent, touching her burning cheek in disbelief before screaming. Ah. She glared at me wildly, lunging forward. You hit me. I'll kill you. Before she could move, Assistant Nathan kicked her away. Ashley crashed to the ground in a heap. She could only stand and hide in the rigid man's arms. Crying. Marcus, help me teach her a lesson. You're Sterling Corporation CEO, are you afraid of one woman? Looking at this delusional, stubborn woman, I signaled Nathan. He approached the stunned Marcus emotionlessly. Director Sterling, given your behavior has negatively impacted Hamilton Corporation, you are hereby formally terminated. 6. The crowd erupted in noise. Director? Isn't he the CEO? How did he become a director? Yeah, what's happening? Plot twist? Marcus swayed, looking at me with difficulty. Victoria, I was wrong. The man's face was full of pleading. It was all vanity that made me pretend to be the company's CEO. Please forgive me this once? I looked coldly at his humble, fawning appearance. It was utterly glaring. The Marcus Sterling in my memory, though poor, had his own integrity. Now this man before me was completely corrupted by society. Ashley's eyes widened in shock beside him. Honey? You're joking, right? I watched his embarrassment coldly, speaking at the right moment. Remember when you knelt outside the Hamilton estate for a day and night to join the company? Forgotten already? My words were like a blade, instantly shredding the man's sensitive pride. You think being high society's dog for a few days made you forget who gave you everything? The massive revelation made the crowd gasp. Holy shit, so this Mr. Sterling is actually a gold digger who married up. And he's keeping a young mistress? Damn. No wonder high society insists on equal matches. Marrying such a scheming social climber means losing everything eventually. Right, so if she's Hamilton Corporation's chairman, then all that theft and fraud was fake? Hearing this, the sales associate trembled, desperately trying to shrink into invisibility. Marcus, who'd always valued pride above all, couldn't bear such mockery. Those contemptuous, dismissive, mocking looks pierced him like arrows. His sensitive nerves were shredded. The mocking words made Marcus's eyes redden, his face cycling through colors. Utterly humiliated. The intense shame drove the man to lose all reason. He simply gave up. Glowering as he roared at me. Isn't my cheating partly your fault? As if convincing himself, his voice grew stronger. If you hadn't stayed abroad for 2 years, would I need to find another woman? Besides, Ashley's been with me for 2 years replacing you. By rights, you should compensate her. After his roar ended, eerie silence fell. Everyone exchanged shocked looks at his words. Hearing this absurd logic, I only felt the man before me was a complete stranger. Looking at the intimate couple clinging together, I felt only burning rage. I slapped him hard without mercy, no more affection in my eyes. Marcus Sterling, my father was right about you. You're nothing but a complete hypocrite. Also, I'll be filing for divorce. Save your arguments for the judge. As for Hamilton family assets, I paused, looking at the already dazed man, you won't get a penny. Marcus froze, breathing stopped momentarily. His eyes filled with panic. Divorce? He roared as if venting. Fine. Divorce it is. I'm telling you, Victoria Hamilton, I've had enough of you. After 10 years of marriage, you must give me half the marital assets. Half of Hamilton Corporation's shares too. Watching him still calculating what wasn't his even now, my heart turned completely cold with mockery. Keep dreaming. Marcus gritted his teeth threateningly. If you don't give it to me, we'll go to court. Seeing his shameless attitude, I finally understood how right my father's precautions had been. I held out my hand to Nathan, who gave me a prenuptial agreement. Marcus Sterling, I spread out the agreement. Back then to marry me, you signed a prenup to gain my father's approval. Now that boomerang has come back to hit you. Marcus swayed, trembling in disbelief. He snatched the agreement. The agreement stated, post-marital assets remain individual property, with no joint distribution or transactions. The man suddenly remembered Etta had indeed signed this 10 years ago. Marcus's previous confident arrogance completely vanished, replaced by panic. The surrounding contemptuous gazes slowly flayed his pride. Ashley panicked too. If Marcus had no money, she'd have to return to her previous inferior life. No way. Growing more panicked, Ashley actually encouraged Marcus to escalate things. Surely he'd get money that way. But Marcus wasn't stupid. Weighing the pros and cons, he instantly pushed Ashley away. Victoria, she seduced me. She drugged me. That's why I made mistakes. Please forgive me this once? 7. The unprepared Ashley was pushed to the ground. Her palms instantly scraped bloody, hair disheveled, face pale like a ghost. Hearing Marcus's words, Ashley's eyes widened, taking several moments to process. Ignoring her bloody palms, she stood and cursed at the man. Marcus Sterling. Are you even a man? She laughed almost hysterically. I seduced you? Then she looked at me as if giving up. Want to know about our first time? Marcus quickly turned, his dark gaze warning her. Shut up. Ashley was completely enraged by his attitude. Why should I shut up? You coward. When you were sleeping with me, why didn't you say I seduced you? Then she looked at me. Our first time was in your villa's memorial room. Oh. Right, your mother's memorial tablet was there. But Marcus said it was exciting. He said he hated you high society people who think you're superior just because of your birth. Ha ha ha. My mind went blank, ears ringing. Unable to believe what I was hearing. That's not true. Marcus rushed forward, grabbing me in panicked explanation. She's lying. How could I do something so despicable? Ashley pulled out her phone like a rabid dog. She played a video for me. 2 naked bodies entangled, moaning and panting. The background was indeed the villa's memorial room. I stared with hatred at the frozen man. Marcus Sterling. Using all my strength to slap his face. My mother was so good to you when she was alive. Do you have any conscience? Doing such filthy things in front of her memorial tablet. Blood seeped from the man's mouth as he turned away, trembling. Then he vented all his anger on the smugly grinning Ashley. Bitch. This is all your fault. The slapped woman fell to the ground in a pathetic heap. Looking at herself, then at my disgusted expression, she suddenly stood up again. Like a wild beast, she pounced on the man. My fault? You useless piece of trash. She screamed hoarsely with imperceptible sobs. I've been with you for 2 years, and now you blame me? Did I force you to sleep with me? Marcus Sterling, you're just a coward who lives off women. Ashley broke down crying, her delicate makeup smeared. Marcus's face turned iron gray, abandoning all dignity to curse back. Slut. This drama had the crowd watching with rapt attention. But I refused to be a circus clown. Before leaving, Nathan handed me a USB drive. I turned to the cowering sales associate. The surveillance has been restored. You set this up, right? Mistook me for Marcus's mistress and orchestrated this frame-up? The sales associate who thought she'd escaped trembled violently. I was wrong, Chairman Hamilton. I truly know I was wrong. I looked at her coldly. If I wasn't Victoria Hamilton today, without Hamilton Corporation behind me, just an ordinary person. Her frame-ups would have driven an ordinary girl to desperation. Repent in prison. Such a person who treats others' lives as worthless deserves worse. The arrogant sales associate collapsed completely, muttering in shock. How did this happen? 8. 3 days later. I sold our marital home at a loss. I packed everything of mine. Everything of his, I burned. Marcus was forced to resign, and our divorce proceedings officially began. The night before court, at the Hamilton estate. The butler hurried in, standing beside me hesitantly, not knowing how to speak. Playing chess with my father, I noticed his reluctance. What is it? The butler started, then said with difficulty. That person is outside making a scene, demanding to see you, Mississippi. Before I could speak, my father across from me slammed down his chess piece, face dark. The authority of his position instantly radiated out. That bastard. Still dares harass my daughter. He pulled a gun from a hidden compartment. I'll deal with him. I stared wide-eyed, quickly stopping him with some amusement. Dad, no need to dirty your hands. For him, my eyes turned cold, just death throes. I stood up. Let me see what tricks he has left. Seeing Marcus again, I paused. Almost didn't recognize him. His previous carefree appearance was gone. Now unshaven, hair messy, still wearing the same suit from 3 days ago. Reeking of sourness. Making me unconsciously step back. Lost in his emotions, Marcus clearly hadn't noticed his current vagrant-like appearance. Seeing me come out, hope instantly lit in his eyes. Victoria, you're still willing to see me. Does that mean you'll give me a chance to reform? He rambled on, ignoring my impatience and disgust. I really know I was wrong. During those 2 years you were gone, I missed you so much I couldn't control finding someone who looked like you. But it was because I love you too much. I don't love her, I only love you, Victoria. Believe me. The man's eyes were full of pleading and sincerity, nearly kneeling. I laughed coldly with disgust. Love? Your love is far too cheap. Marcus's face paled as he urgently spoke. Victoria, I've broken up with that woman. His voice carried panic. I was just confused then. Please give me another chance? I took a deep breath, completely fed up with this pestering man. Looking at you makes me sick. What forgiveness? Get lost. Without another glance at the pathetic Marcus, I turned and left. The next day. The divorce went smoothly. Almost no suspense, forced divorce granted, with no distribution of individual post-marital assets. Walking out of the courthouse, sunlight on my face. I felt unprecedented relief. A month later. Everything about Marcus Sterling disappeared from my life. I thought it was all over. But I didn't expect to see Ashley again. That day after work, I just entered the parking garage to get my car. A disheveled woman suddenly rushed out, startling me. Victoria Hamilton. Her eyes were bloodshot, her once delicate face oily. It's all your fault I ended up like this. I keenly noticed her slightly crazed expression. I watched her warily. Suddenly, the manic Ashley pulled out a knife, charging at me wildly. Bitch. If I'm going down, I'm taking you to hell. She laughed sinisterly. I'll kill you. My bodyguard arrived just in time, kicking Ashley away. Pinning her firmly to the ground. Give this to Lawyer Johnson, I looked at her coldly. I want her to rot in prison. But Ashley showed no reaction, just laughing at me. Victoria Hamilton, you'll die horribly. When silence returned, I took a deep breath, expelling the frustration. 2 weeks later, Ashley was formally arrested and sentenced for attempted murder, 20 years in prison. That day, my father and I were enjoying the warm sun, playing chess in the garden. I captured his king. See, Dad? Didn't lose a single piece. The end.